This changes the source. You've got freeze, or this is AV mute, so maybe you're not going to use your projector for 10 minutes and you want to just power it off without turning it all the way to off. You can turn this off and it closes the screen off and the projector all the way off. We recommend this mode if you're not going to use it for 5-10 minutes. If you're going to specials, it's just better for your projector to turn it all the way off. To get it back on, you just tap the screen and then it pulls it right back up. Freeze, just like on document camera, if you want an activity up there that can't be moved, you would just freeze the screen and stay up there. If you notice you can't touch or interact in this mode, just double check up here and see if you've accidentally frozen it. This label will always be up there. And then for sound controls, if you have any audio. So those are the features of the projector. I'm going to walk you through just briefly Easy Interactive Tools, which is this toolbar, but something you can download to your computer so that you don't have to switch to this mode, because you'll notice when you switch out of this and back into mouse mode, you'll lose all your annotations, the screen goes black and it resets. So if you're trying to go back and forth between the two, students thinking you might be lost, you might just lose your train of thought of what you're doing. So this mode might be for on the fly if you don't need to save anything. To download Easy Interactive Tools, and what that is that same menu bar with a few more options, but it's now an icon on your desktop so things can be saved and you can reference them at any time. To download that, you're going to go into your computer start bar. If you have Windows 8, you go to the search here. If you have Windows 7, just go to that star icon and then the empty search bar, and you're going to type in Application Catalog. This is the same thing as the Software Center, except this is a more direct link that takes you right to where we need to go instead of having to click view additional software, that kind of thing. This takes us right to everything we have. We're going to filter over here to the Epson, and there'll be 3 things on there. We don't need to worry about the projection utility or any of those things. We want Easy Interactive Tools. You just click on it and click Install, and then that will download the software. I already have it, so I'm not going to go through that process, but this would be where you go to get the Interactive Tools menu. And then when it opens, you will see these options. So this is your home screen, and when you first open it for the first time, it's going to look like this. I don't like this view, so I just put don't display the home screen. But you can see, you can do a desktop annotation, which just means you write on whatever's on your screen from your computer. You can do a new project, which is just a blank screen. You can use your document camera, which we don't have set up here, but that is another training. We can show you how to set up the document camera, and the video walks you through how to set it up. However, we found a more efficient way, so if you would like the more efficient way and you have time, we can do that a different day, or after school, or that kind of thing. And you can also do annotate over a website. So I'm just going to go back to my main thing. This is save. So when you want to save a file, you have a few options. You can save it as an Easy Interactive Tools file, and that means you can go back to it and annotate it. You can also save it as a JPEG or a PDF if you just want to save it and say, oh, hey, this is what Jimmy did, how he solved a math problem today, and you want to send it to a parent as a JPEG, you can, but it can't be edited once it's sent. So if it's something you want to come back to, just save it as Easy Interactive Tools, and you can save it anywhere on your desktop, on your OneDrive, anywhere that works for you. So you have, again, the same modes that we had over here on this pen bar, the PC and then the tablet mode. You can see that it's just transferred to a toolbar up here that's straight on your desktop. So I don't have to click over to that other mode. Everything I need is here, and I really don't ever have to use that other mode again because I have this program. So you've got your desktop mode, so you can do anything on here. Then you've got undo. You can do shapes now, so you can see there's a few extra features. You can do a text box. You can move things around. So a lot of different things. Again, you can use this for on-the-fly teaching. I would recommend if you have anything more specific that you use Smart Notebook. And then you have those projector features, again, that blank slate. But there's a few extra tools in here that are kind of nice, especially if you're having kids show their work. In this suitcase is the ability to zoom in on one specific piece of the document. So let's say you have a student solving a problem. Sorry, my handwriting is really sloppy when I use this word. So maybe you have student A over here and student B over there, and they solve their work, and you want to now look at one student's writing. I just clicked on this zoom in, and then you choose the writing you want to look at. And I obviously didn't select high enough, but now you can see that it zoomed in on that piece of writing, and the student can work through their problem and solve it, and then any work that you do, that's wide because I chose the wide side, narrows right there. Any work that you do then automatically shows up over there. So you can compare students' work. You can zoom in. This is a spotlight, so maybe you want to zoom in on a student's work. Just features that kind of grab their attention and keep them a little bit more engaged. You have a shade if you want to hide the screen. You have a few more paper options. You can see smaller grid paper. For music teachers, there's a scale and a green template. Not a whole lot, but again, you can get those in Smart Notebook. Those are some of the features. This is Easy Interactive Tools. We have till 40, right? Ish. Okay, so we'll spend the last 7 minutes in Smart Notebook. So that's that Easy Interactive Tools. In Smart Notebook, things are a lot more efficient and organized, a lot easier in here to navigate. Many of you are doing Go Math lessons. Many of you are interventionists and can pull up different pre-made activities, and I'll show you how to do that, or start creating your own things. And we'll go a little bit more in depth in that at future trainings, but I'm just going to show you a few things that will make navigating the whiteboard lessons in your daily routines and in your math just a little bit more efficient. When you open up your Go Math lesson or any lesson that you do, it's probably going to default to this screen, which is the screen in which you can edit. This is also the best way to do this with students, but we can hide a few of the things so that they don't show up. When you first open, you'll have this slide navigation bar and your presentation. If you don't want these slides to show up because you don't want to accidentally have a kid click on it and then it moves your whole presentation, that kind of thing, you can click Auto Hide and then click back on your presentation and that disappears. You can certainly go into full screen mode, and that makes the presentation the entire side of the paper, but you can see we now lost that menu bar with the icons, and especially in kindergarten where they're visual. Now all we have to work on is under the ellipsis. We have those same menus, but now they're all words, so there's no more pictures for the kids. And it's kind of a pain every time you want to switch to come to the menu and try to switch things out. So we're going to go back to this editing mode. I would recommend, and this is just changing the screen size, having it at 100%. If you go anything over 100, it cuts off part of your presentation. You can certainly have it smaller, but then you're decreasing the field in which you have to interact with. So usually 100 is best. You'll notice up here you have all of the tools. You have your pen tools, and there are a lot of options in here, kind of to spruce up things if you want to. You've got pen, you've got your fancy calligraphy pen, crayon, highlighter, text pen. If a student is writing, they write a word, it will transform it into text, into typed text, and then they have that there. So just kind of a fun thing, especially for kindergarten, they can see their writing turn into real words. That's called text pen. And I just clicked on pen tools, oh sorry, and then the ABC pen. Creative pen is just another way, so for handwriting, if they're just playing for a center on the board and you have it up while you're doing reading group and they're practicing their handwriting, it's just another way to do writing. That's creative pen. Paintbrush. Magic pen is kind of neat if you expect them to have their focus on something, you really want them to pay attention. Magic pen, oh sorry, that's spotlight. Sometimes if you draw something like a circle, it thinks you're trying to draw a spotlight and then it'll automate it's a formatting thing. So I steer clear of circles because that always happens to me. So Magic Pen disappears after about 10 seconds. So if you want kids to look at a number, be able to read a number, and look at it, it slowly disappears and then they recall. Or if you want them to attend to a specific direction, that's Magic Pen, it disappears. And then Shape Pen, if you want a student to draw a circle, it draws a circle and then it gives it straight lines or cleans it up a little bit. Any shape. Triangle, those kind of things. Ooh, that was not a good one. So just a few simple tools with the eraser. Anything that you want to erase, you can certainly do this one at a time, but you can also draw a line, an imaginary circle, sorry, not a line, around the whole thing and click in the middle. Sorry, too slow. And then it'll delete everything. Now these are no longer things I wrote, they now turned into shapes. So you have to click on them individually with the mouse, and then you'll get a little triangle. So if you pull up manipulatives or if you write and you want to get rid of it, choose the object and then choose delete. And then something, I think especially at the kindergarten level, that students can do. Within this menu, you'll see you have clone, that just means duplicate, so it'll just copy it, and then you can move it. Infinite cloner is kind of cool, it's something that kids can do independently if you want. It makes multiple copies, so if you want to infinitely clone that, you can quickly drag out a bunch and have students count them. And then to take that off, you just select it and then turn it off. Questions about any of that? I know it's information overload, so as you get in your rooms or on your computers and start playing with Smart Notebook and questions come up, you're like, how'd you do that again? Please email me. I can come out or send you directions or that kind of thing. For those of you looking for more smart resources, inside Smart Notebook is the Smart Exchange. So instead of having to go to www.smartexchange.com, you can click on that little X icon and it takes you directly to Smart Exchange. The nice thing about Smart Exchange is you can filter based on subject area, but for those of us who are trying to find lessons aligned to the core, you can do standards aligned lessons. The downside is anyone can put a lesson in here and say it's tied to a specific standard. So it's up to you to filter that and to use your judgment to decide whether that's really meeting your lesson objective or not. You can filter by state, choose grade level, and choose subject area. There are many options. You won't let me choose them yet because I haven't filtered through a grade. You can download them then, and then you can edit them and save them as your own. So if you don't like if you like the format of it, but you want to change the words in it or change the problems in it, you just download it and then you edit it. So that's the start. As we get teachers in the district who are starting to become more comfortable with it, many of them are sharing the resources they've created for their classrooms, and we are posting them as fast as we get them on the curriculum weekly. So elementary.dmschools.org. Under your grade level and under teacher created resources, and it's sorted by subject. We're putting in all the whiteboard or notebook lessons we're getting as we get them. There's some really nice ones for first and second. We don't think have gotten any for kindergarten yet. So, but as we do, we try to update the page saying, hey, we just got these in. But I think as more people get comfortable with it, we'll start having more resources. So if you get comfortable and you find something that works and you make something, you want to share it with the district, just email it to me and we'll put it in there. But hopefully as we get going, we'll get more and more resources for more than just math. Any questions about that abundance of information?
Could you quick show me that lunch count? Because that's something that they might.
Yes. So one of the teachers from Edmonds has created a lunch count for her classroom. So her students come in the morning. They have a timer that she's put in there, and this takes a little bit of time to load because it's got a lot of content in it. They have a timer. They have to eat their breakfast because they have breakfast in the classroom and sign in for lunch within this timer, within this amount of time. So she's created a lunch count, and there are several lunch count options on Smart Exchange. So you can certainly Google or search for them in Smart Exchange and come up with there are tons. You would just type in your own kids' names, and so if you don't like this format or you want something else, that's fine too. Get really patient this one takes a really long time to load, but be patient with Smart Notebook because some of the files are huge, they take a long